Where are you from, Kisha?
I was born in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Florida. I moved there when I was about 7, but I've been here now for almost 11 years, so I'm back to being a New Yorker.
Nice. What do you do?
Actress and waitress,
Actress.
voiceover, and sometimes stand-up comedian.
Ooh, okay. Well, Scott and I are also stand-up comedians.
Fun. I haven't done it in a while, but, there's some footage around.
What would you identify as one of the most impactful or life-changing moments in your life?
What would impactful or life-changing moments in my life? I could go really sad and dark or happy. I have a few events. I don't know. What are we feeling today? We'll be vulnerable today. So probably the most life-changing event happened when I was 25. So the year was 2010. I actually found out that my mother shot and killed my grandmother. And I got a phone call while I was at work and I was like, what? And my mom was on the front page of the news. And I was like, holy crap, what's going on? It's a whole story. But yeah, that's probably a pretty life-changing event that I didn't talk about for a long time because I thought people would judge me for something my mother did, which if you think about it, is crazy. But yeah, so that was a pretty crazy time in my life. Yeah. So yeah, and I was like, do we want to go dark or do we want to go?
What was your grandma saying that happened?
Well, here's the thing. I openly talk about it now because I feel like it's a part of my story. It's part of what's made me who I am today. So the night before, my mother and my grandmother got into an argument about something. I don't even remember what they were, but I love my grandmother, but she was very old school, very religious. And my mother is someone who doesn't necessarily know how to let things go. And so I talked to her on the phone. I was like, listen, you know how grandma is, just let it go, brush it off. And they were living in the same house at the time. So I was like, just brush it off. You know how grandma is, it's going to be fine. Little did I know what was going to happen because the next day all of this happened and I was like, wow. So I was like, yeah, that's a fun phone call to get while you're at work and you have 20 missed calls. You're like, what's going on? Yeah, so found that out.
Okay.
Yeah. I know.
That's a crazy
it's a
fucking
crazy
thing.
story, but it's also wow.
So you don't have to go into details of it if you want to or don't want to. But what's something that how has your life changed and what have you?
Yeah, so I'll go into a little bit of detail. Basically, my mom was suffering from depression. We realized she wasn't taking her medication, and my mother essentially snapped and did something crazy. But we found out she actually had a tumor on her pituitary gland, which can cause you to snap and do something crazy. So we found out that it wasn't just my mom's not a cold-blooded killer. It was just she was sick.
There was a DC sniper had that same thing.
Really?
And there's this place where if you push on it, you become this raging
Yeah, it's crazy because we had a great childhood. My mom's not a violent person, I think, but when you're sick and you've got something going on, it literally it's she snapped. This was pushing on a certain part of her brain that essentially caused her to do something crazy like that. But in the end, my mom is eventually getting out. She'll be released, I believe, the end of next year. So it's been close to 15 years. It would happen a while. By the time she'll release, it'll be 14 years or so. So she's lucky. She's going to be getting out, and I don't know where life will lead her from here on out. But she's very remorseful for what she did. She has to live with this. But we realized she was sick and she got the help she needed. It's the help she needed in the worst possible way because my mom, a lot of people tried to help her and she was so in such a dark place she didn't really know how to ask for help. But at least now, I say she's in a quote unquote better place for right now. It's she got the help she needed and we're working through how to progress in the future. But as far as me, it's just really taught me a lot about mental health. I think before this, I didn't really know a lot about mental health. I didn't really know how important it was to go to therapy, how important it is for people to talk about things, especially in the Black community. It's very stigmatized, going to therapy, helping yourself. So I think it's an important conversation to have, especially now as a lot of people are suffering from depression and anxiety. And I think having that safe space to go and talk about things is really important. And I think everybody should be in therapy, whether you've gone through something traumatic or not. So it's just taught me a lot about, you don't really know where someone is until things happen. And so now I've made sure for my own mental health, I try to make sure that's something I really focus on is if I'm not in a good state of mental mind, what can I do for myself to help me stay in a good place? So yeah, it just taught me a lot about that and how important it is. And, love the people around you because you never know life can change instantly. But definitely made me a much stronger person. I value things a lot more now. But, I could have sat in the corner and let that situation completely destroy me. But I was like, I'm not going to sit in the corner and just sulk about life and play woe is me. Because I could do that and then have everybody feel sorry for me, but where is that going to get me? So I kind of use it as motivation of like, I have dreams that I want, I have things I want to do. Just because this thing happened, I'm not going to let that define me. And, about a year later, I moved to New York. I've been here for almost 11 years. I'm doing a lot of cool things. Done a lot of things that scared me, like stand up. I can say like I've done a lot of really cool things since I've been here. So it's definitely shaped me to be the person I am today, which I'm proud of that. So even though that crazy situation happened, it's a story I talk about now because I feel like there are other people that can maybe relate and nobody talks about it. It's still very taboo. But, dealing with someone in prison, a close family member, nobody really knows what that's like. So it's taught me a lot about how if you don't have people watching out for you, giving you money, like it's a really hard life.
Yeah.
Obviously it should be. It's a punishment.
Yeah.
But being on the outside, really, if you don't have anybody that's like coming to visit you or thing is that it can be very lonely. So
yeah.
It's definitely taught me a lot about life, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, so wild.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
that is wild.
Should we do something a little bit lighter?
No, let's keep it wild.
Keep it going. I figured, there might be somebody who can relate, so might as well share my story.
How much do you consider and care about other people's opinions of you?
Oh, how much do I consider other people's? I would say right now, as someone in her 30s, I don't care as much as I used to. I think in my early 20s, I used to care a lot about what people thought. And like, because, you're like taught, you got to have people to like you and you got to impress people. And then you get into your 30s and like, who cares? Like if somebody doesn't like me, I always say when you turn 30, you stop giving a shit about all the stuff that you thought mattered. And you realize like, cool, if you like me, cool. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Like you come into your own. So I would say now I don't care as much as I used to. If we're looking at a percentage, I'd say maybe like 15%. If we're going on a 15%. Because it's like you're either going to like me as a person and what I'm doing or you're not.
Yeah.
And I feel like spending my time and energy on like, why don't they like me?
Yeah.
For why are we wasting our time and energy? That's what you did in high school. And I guess in high school, it's a popularity contest. So you want people to like you. But as an adult, you're like, none of it matters. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So I would say like if we're on a scale of 1 to 100, I'd say about 15%.
15%, which is probably a healthy answer.
Healthy answer. Obviously, I care a little bit, but it doesn't really bother me as much as it would when I was in my early 20s.
Yes. That's correct. Usually, like, it's, I think 15% is like the not a psychopath, where it's like you're not like taking any feedback from anybody.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, it's a healthy, like, you don't need to let people, like, make you, like, it's you don't got time to be letting other people's opinions like sway your life. It's like, yeah, it'd be great if everybody liked me, but they can't. Everyone I like, the people I respect the most are people who don't care what other people think of them.
Exactly.
And you just don't have time. It's like, yeah, some people are gonna hate you, whatever.
Right. And it's like, if they hate me, great, hate me. Like I'm gonna live my life whether you like me or not. So yeah, I think it's a good balance.
Do you have anything you want to plug or talk about for that you have coming up?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a staged play reading this coming Thursday, June 22nd, at LIC Culture Lab. I think that's what it's called.
Oh,
cool. Long Island City Culture Lab. It's with Exquisite Theater Company. And it's going to be directed by my friend Philip Christian Smith, and it's a play called I'm the First, written by Philip Burke. I think that's his last name. So we have a quick rehearsal process this week with a stage reading on Thursday. Tickets are $10 and it includes a drink. So if you're free, I'm excited to do a little theater again because I haven't done theater in a while. So when they asked me to be in this, I'm like, yes, let's play. I'm so excited. It'll be a lot of fun.
And do you want people to follow your Instagram?
Yes, please. If you want to come on, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Kisha Peart, KISHA PEART. If you have a sweet tooth, I also bake as a fun hobby.
Ooh.
At The Baking Actress, you can see a lot of my fun creations. And then I am an actor, so I self-tape. If you're interested in watching me do practice self-tapes, you can follow me at Kiesha self tapes. So 3 different Instagrams. Pick and choose your poison. But my main Instagram is Kisha Peer, and I post like random stuff. I post a lot of my cool finds for free stuff. So if you check my stories, I'll always post what's going on. So
awesome. Well,
thank you.
It
Rob.
was
this
lovely
was
to
so
meet you.
fun.
I hope
this
to
was
see you again
awesome.
soon.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.